Welcome to Murder with the Missus. I'm Darren.
And I'm Amy. And today we're going to tell you about Jennifer Holliday.
But first, make sure you guys go on to YouTube, Spotify, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit the little bell. That way you guys get notifications when new episodes drop.
And tell your friends, word of mouth is big. Today we're going to tell you a survivor story. And this time, we're going to talk shit on somebody besides the cops and the judicial system. So it's going to be a nice change of pace. This case is in Lufkin, Texas, where 27-year-old EMT, Jennifer, lived with her 18-year-old cousin, Anna Franklin. On May 29th of 2005, Jennifer worked a double shift while Anna had a babysitting job that evening. Right after Jennifer got home from her shift, obviously exhausted, Anna called needing a ride home. After picking her up, Anna wanted a late-night snack, so she talked Jennifer into stopping at a convenience store. Anna ran in while Jennifer stayed in her Ford Explorer. Back on the road, there was a loud noise, and her SUV was jolted. Jennifer said that there was glass everywhere and blood in her eyes, so she had to pull over. Jennifer thought they had been hit by a truck, but Anna was screaming, "He just shot you." And they were calling 911 while they were pulling to the side of the road. Jennifer said that a man, who we now know is 31-year-old Eric Stephen Parnell, walked up to the SUV, opened the driver's side door, pointed a shotgun directly at Anna's head, and pulled the trigger without saying a word and without hesitation. He started screaming sexual slurs at them and pulled Anna's body across the seat, intending to rape her.
But he took Jennifer out of the SUV and put her in his truck.
Yeah, I guess he abandoned the Anna thing. She was bleeding heavily at this point because it wasn't his truck that hit him. He had shot at them, so Anna was right. And Jennifer had 37 shotgun pellets lodged in her arm, chest, and neck. Her elbow had basically been blown off. She sees that he left his shotgun in the truck, so she grabbed it and threw it out the window, only to look around and see that there were several more guns in there. And then Eric was back in the truck. He takes off with Jennifer. She later said, "I remember trying to decide, okay, should I grab this gun and use it, or I'm going to die regardless, so should I at least go for it? What do you do?" During the drive, she said that Eric would hit her and rage and then just start laughing. He ended up pulling over on a back road, drug her out of the truck, stripped off all of her clothes, and sexually assaulted her. At one point, even stabbing her in the scalp with an ice pick. She fought him, giving him a black eye, which you can actually see in his arrest photo, so it's funny. But when the sexual assault was over, she said it was like a switch had flipped.
He was a completely different person. He was crying and asking her what happened to her arm.
Yeah, he had no clue what was going on.
So he's just like, oh my God.
He was having like a psychotic break and then snapped out of it.
Oh, good God.
Darren totally believes it. She instantly realized that she had to play along with him to have any chance of getting out of this alive. She told him that some man had shot her and thanked him for saving her. She convinced him that he was going to take her to his house to use the phone to call for help. Remember? He did not remember. But she just kept saying, "Yeah, thank you so much. You didn't see that guy, John? That guy that just shot me? That man shot me and he was going to leave me out here on the highway. And thank God you came along and you saved me." He believed her. She kept the pressure on him about using his phone, but she was losing a lot of blood. And he would say, "I know, you're bleeding everywhere." Well, no shit. He took her to his trailer. It was an old, dirty, rundown trailer way out in the country. Once there, he dressed her in his clothes, and she made a tourniquet out of one of his shirts. She kept pushing him about using his phone, but he was saying no because he had warrants out for him. It seemed that less than a year before this, he had been charged with domestic violence, assault, and making terroristic threats. But she kept on, ranting about John and hailing Eric as her hero. She was showing him affection and having him hold her hand for comfort.
He made her promise that she would only ask for an ambulance, no cops, which of course she agreed.
Well, yeah, you'll agree to anything. Just give me the damn phone and we'll do whatever. He told her to stop acting bad or she would end up like other people have ended up. He said he wouldn't be responsible for what happened to her. She instantly thought of a small cemetery she saw at the front of his property, but she kept up her charade. And she called 911. She tells them immediately that she has been shot and the man with her had helped her. Jennifer hears the operator say to someone else that they have another gunshot. And Jennifer immediately says, same one, same one, same one. Now, this is a town that doesn't see a lot of shooting cases, so Jennifer needed them to put two and two together to know that she had been a victim in the shooting at the SUV and was now with a man that was helping her. I use my air bunnies. Luckily, the operator was picking up what she was putting down and her over-the-top praise that Jennifer was giving Eric. He would say to Jennifer that only one ambulance was allowed to come, and she would tell him how happy paramedics were going to be that he had saved her life. She had lost so much blood at this point, and she was getting thirsty, which is a sign of significant blood loss. She was lightheaded and felt like she was going to pass out. So she puts Eric on the phone to tell the operator how to get to his house, and he does it. The operator asks Eric how Jennifer is doing, and he says, she acts completely okay, but I know she's scared out of her wits. So am I, because I'm the one who picked her up, and I'm scared to death. I got blood from head to toe. The operator assured him that he was doing a great job.
She tells him that he needs to get Jennifer some water, so he gives the phone back to Jennifer and goes and gets some. Are you really kidding me with this story?
This is a legit 100% story.
I mean, I'm glad that, man, this is just like one in a million.
It's like the mental illness is such a huge factor in this case because he was so angry and so just outraged. And then instantly like this.
He's psychotic.
Quiet little teddy bear. This is how psychos work. I don't know why I said it that weird. I was going to say psychotics work, but this is mental illness.
What is it? Schizophrenic?
Yes. Schizophrenia. Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. Proceed.
Thanks. Immediately, the operator starts with yes or no questions. Like, is this the man who shot you? Jennifer says yes. So now the operator has confirmation. Jennifer asked if her cousin Anna was dead, but the operator said she didn't know. Eric was still believing that he was a hero. And Jennifer later said, it was like he had not done anything, and he really believed that this other man had shot me. He kept saying, where'd your friend go? And I would tell him, she's at the car, remember? She didn't want to come. You were just going to bring me, remember? It took 40 minutes after the 911 call was first placed for the ambulance to show up, but the ambulance stopped at the driveway. Knowing that this is a dangerous situation with an armed man, emergency crews are not allowed to enter until police can remove the threat to their safety.
The 911 operator told Jennifer she would have to go out to them. Eric walked her out.
Yeah, he went with her. And she said, when I walked outside, he was right behind me. I remember fixing to walk up this hill, and I wasn't sure if it was trees or something moving, and I thought, well, maybe I lost so much blood that I'm seeing things. And she was seeing things, but it wasn't because of the blood loss. It had taken so long for the ambulance to get there because SWAT was setting up in the woods surrounding the house. They were able to take Eric into custody and get Jennifer to the hospital. When the emergency responders arrived at the SUV, they recognized it as hers because remember, she herself was an EMT. And they saw her Gold Star badge clipped to the sun visor, so they knew that she was one of their own. At the hospital, Jennifer did learn that Anna did not make it. Eric was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated sexual assault, and kidnapping. During jury selection for his trial, Eric decided to go ahead and just plead guilty. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. He confessed that that day he had taken Xanax and had been drinking beer. It was found out later that he had actually been kicked out of a bar because he had too much to drink. His ex-girlfriend had left him and was staying with her mom and stepdad. Eric called her, and the stepdad answered, telling him to stop calling, and hung up. This was just before 3:30 a.m., and his ex had a 9 a.m. shift, so the stepdad didn't want to wake her up. Eric called back, but got no answer. So he called back again, and stepdad answered again. This time, Eric threatened him to say that he better enjoy his last night because he wouldn't see another one. And it was after this phone call that he saw Anna go into the store.
So he was asked if he knew who they were when he shot at them that night. And he said he probably would have shot at anyone he'd seen.
Yeah, he was so mad he was just going to shoot anybody. But he just happened to see Anna go in the store. And he originally told police that he had hit on Anna at the store and was rejected. But Jennifer believes that Anna would have mentioned that when she got back in the SUV. Eric said he followed them when they left the store. The Daily Sentinel interviewed Eric's ex, who said that he was physically violent with her, and she had told the Angelina County Sheriff's Department a year before this incident with Jennifer and Anna that if they didn't do something with him, something bad was going to happen. She said he was a taunting person, always a bully who thinks he's above everybody, and he thought women were only here to please him, and that he goes berserk if anyone tells him no for any reason.
With the damage done to Jennifer's arm, she lost her job as an EMT, meaning she also lost her health insurance.
Yes. So this is the parts of the story that we don't usually get in the aftermath of a tragedy like this. A month after this incident, she lost her insurance, her house, and her car. In an interview from 2007, she said, "I'm trying to take it one day at a time, trying not to stay aggravated. But I've had a hard time getting the money from crime victims' assistance, and most of that went straight to medical. She got disability, but by doing that, she lost her Medicare immediately." She said that if she had been a stay-at-home mom without a job of record, she could qualify for housing assistance and other government assistance. But because she had been employed, she got a $900 a month Social Security check. This put her over the income limit to qualify for indigent care in Angelina County. But she did qualify for limited care at the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston, which is a state-run hospital. She was supposed to do her physical therapy there twice a week, but this was 175 miles away, so roughly a 5-hour round trip each time to get help. She was only able to afford to go once a month. Most Texas counties didn't provide care to anyone who makes more than 21% of the federal poverty level, so pretty much a single person making more than $179 a month. I know you're like, well, that was in 2007, so things are way different now. Not really. The national poverty level for 2024 is $15,060 for a single person. That's $1,255 a month. 21% of that is $263.55. So if you make more than that in a month, you can't get help. What the fuck? They don't.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. I mean, even with like SSI and everything, it's so stupid and so ridiculous just to try to even get it. I mean, when there's people out there that actually need it.
100%.
They can't get it because they're like, oh, well, we understand that you're not able to do this, but you're able to do something.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of jobs out there for something.
But then you get another person that's like, oh, well, I got this. And they're like, oh, yeah, there you go.
100%. And he's saying that because we know people who are trying to get Social Security or disability or things like that for things like stuff they've had surgery on, nerve damage, so you don't have functioning limbs, things like that they're getting denied. But someone we know went to work at McDonald's for one day, claimed social anxiety, and has been on Social Security ever since. And they were like 19, 20 years old. And so they're giving it, I understand mental issues is a big thing, but there's physical issues are also a thing.
Yeah, whenever you can't physically go and do a job.
Right.
When you physically can't hold on to something, when you physically can't stand for 8 hours.
Right.
Without something hurting you. Actually, there's some people that can't stand for more than 30 minutes at a
30
time.
minutes, yeah. Yeah.
But, and then they deny them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's so screwed up.
Yes.
How SSI works and everything, or how you have to, the limits that they think.
Yeah, your qualifications.
Your qualifications that they think it is. Well, you know, they're not getting it.
They're not understanding.
You know why? Because they're working for SSI. Their job is to not give it out.
But you pay it every paycheck.
Yep.
So it's like, okay. It's just frustrating.
They want you to wait until you are retirement age, and that way you don't have very much time to live.
Right.
To enjoy it.
Well, to just benefit from something you've paid into for 60 years. It's just frustrating. We're just frustrated. That's
Yep. Most people that retire at the age of 67 or whatever, most of them don't even see their retirement money for the next, you know, they might enjoy it for like 3 years before something happens.
Exactly.
And everything. I mean, it's just like, I think people ought to be able to retire at 45, 50 and actually have time to retire, you know, enjoy their retirement. Enjoy the money that they've been paying in.
Very true. Very true.
You know, especially if they are disabled.
And if they're not able to do the job that they've been doing their whole lives.
Yeah.
Because we've heard doctors telling people, well, you can go be a Walmart greeter. Well, they have to stand there. They're not sitting on a chair. So if standing is it's part of your restrictions from your doctor, standing for long periods of time, you can't even do that.
And they're like, oh, well, you can go work in the office. No, because office work even requires you to be able to pick up at least 25 pounds.
I'm telling you right now, I've got carpal tunnel from working in an office.
Just saying.
So it's just causing more problems.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's limits with every job. And whenever you have physical restrictions on you, medical physical restrictions, nobody wants to hire that person because you're already labeled.
Well, you're not only labeled, they're seeing that you can't perform the job to their full, because they want you to work above and beyond. They want you putting in more.
Yeah. And then whenever you go and prove yourself to SSI or disability, they're like, oh, well, you can still do some.
Yeah.
Who? Where?
Where? Tell me where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been trying. Can't find it.
Been trying.
Nobody wants to hire somebody like that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. You just have to understand it.
Yeah. It's just frustrating. It's just, this is what I said. We're bitching about the judicial system or the police, but another thing that needs an overhaul is our medical system. Yeah. Because even with insurance, like I said, they're not taking things into account like gas, medications, all things that are super expensive. Like even if you have insurance, your copays are ridiculous.
Yep.
But they don't take that into account when they're figuring out how much money you make. It's just, it puts a lot of people out that really need to be in, and it just pisses me off.
Yeah. And she should be getting paid a lot more than, was it $900 a month?
Yeah, she gets $900 a month.
That's ridiculous.
That's why she lost her house, her car. This is what I'm saying. Like,
and she can't live on that. She has kids.
She does have a kid, yeah.
Yeah, a kid?
Well, at the time she had one. I don't know if she has any more since then.
I thought you said kids. But either way, I mean, she still has a child.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's having $900 a month to provide for her and a child and to keep a house and to pay bills and to have a reliable car to go 175 miles for physical therapy that she can only afford to go one time a month when she's supposed to be going
8 times a month.
Eight times a month?
It's twice a week. She's supposed to go twice a week, but she can't.
But yet, nobody can help her.
And this is not something that she has done to herself. She was literally she was an EMT.
Yeah.
She made her job to help people. And now she's just shoved out the door because this guy went nuts.
Yep. That just shows you how much governments do care about their people.
Yeah, he's getting 3 meals a day,
Yep.
free medical
For
care.
the rest of his life, he don't have to pay nothing.
And she's out here struggling.
She's out here struggling, losing everything.
See, victims.
Yep.
Come
That's
on
so
now.
screwed up. 21%. 21% is what you... Good night.
21% of the national poverty level.
That needs to be raised tremendously.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw something on Facebook. It was like a meme or something. And it was not a meme, but it was a picture of, I guess, some program was like, this is how much it costs to live.
Yeah.
And it was like upwards of, almost 6 figures a year.
Oh, yeah. No, and if you had children, it's even more.
Who's making that?
Nobody.
I ain't making that.
That's what I'm saying. They said ever since freaking Biden came into office and
Here we
everything,
go.
it's like went out the freaking roof as far as
This
like
is
cost of
nuts.
living,
This is nuts.
everything.
We did this case because, one, I knew it was going to get you because this guy is so back and forth and it's a ridiculous case. But also because once I started reading about the aftermath, I was like, oh, no.
Well, that's just it sucks because she's actually a survivor. I mean,
Yes.
she shouldn't be struggling.
Well,
Not like this.
I'm sure they told
she
her.
should be very fortunate to be here, and
Right? She's lucky to be alive.
she's lucky to be alive. And and this is how they show, hey, this is your luck.
Yeah.
Lose everything.
Well, you know how our government is. Not my problem. I didn't do that to you. Here's $900 a month.
She didn't do that to her.
Nope.
But yet the guy that she's got in jail, and guess what? The jail system, the prison system is getting paid every day by the government
Yes.
for that guy being in there.
Yep.
Why can't she get a cut of that money?
I concur. I agree.
That's the whole thing. Is he's in there and they are making money off of his crimes
Yes.
and everything. And whenever he gets out, he still owes them money for being in there.
Yes, he's still got to pay them back.
Which he's never going to get out.
We hope.
We hope.
You never know.
Yeah. But
It is Texas, so he's probably not going to get
no, he probably won't ever get out. But the whole thing is that while he's in there and the government are getting so much money, she should have been awarded money.
a percentage of his money.
Yeah. What is it called? It's like a suit.
Reparation?
Reparations.
Oh.
Yeah, she should have been. She should have been rewarded reparations because it was life altering for her.
It was 100%. 100%.
I don't know. If I was her, I'd get a lawyer. I'd be looking into this.
But who are you going to, were you going to sue the government?
There's got to be something.
You would hope.
There's
they
gotta
did
be
have
something.
she did get money from the victim compensation, which most places have a victim compensation fund. And then
Okay.
they give you money out of it. But she
but-
said, it all went to medical. She had 5 surgeries before she even got out of the hospital.
Okay, but
That money was gone.
But how long does that last?
It didn't last her any time because it went straight to her
But
medical bills.
even at that, but even whenever her medical's paid and all this stuff, how much longer does it last after that?
It really doesn't, because I think in another case we did, the victim compensation fund gave them like $200,000.
Yeah.
So if you add up 5 surgeries,
And that's and that's the
It's
whole
gone.
thing. It's like, why didn't the people, the hospitals that did the surgeries on her, why didn't they do it pro bono?
we're going to get to that.
Why didn't they write it off? Anyway, let's move forward because I can speak on this all damn day. So even
Yeah.
if you have insurance,
Yeah,
you'll still have to pay your deductible,
right.
then your percentage of everything after, and,
Right.
and that stuff isn't covered.
Yeah, because you pay your deductible, but then you're still responsible for, a percentage of what's left, 20%, or depending on what kind of shitty insurance you've got these days. Healthcare's expensive. And then you have these companies, like big companies, that purposely keep employees under a certain amount of hours to keep from having to legally provide them with health insurance. Why? This shit is expensive for them too, and I get that, but they're sitting over there on billions of dollars and they don't care if you're healthy? Fuck off.
Yeah, they do 32 hours or is it 36?
32 used to be the standard, but now it's changed. I think it's a little different.
I think it's like 36 now.
Yeah.
Is considered still part-time.
Mm-hmm. And then
hell, before too long, I mean, because there's still some out there that technically say 36, but they still schedule you for 40.
right.
But they're like, oh, you're not full-time because you're only...
Yeah,
30,
you're only hired at 36.
Yeah, you're only hired at 36, but you can work 40 if you want.
Because it's not regular.
Yeah.
And because I've seen people who post, one more thing, I promise. Big companies, and I'm talking one that has stores all over America. I won't say the name, but everybody knows what it is. But they literally have had people post on social media and they try to take it down to where they're, like, let's say it is 36. If they get over 36 hours, then they're considered full-time, and then they have to offer them benefits. So they'll actually check their hours, and if they're going to be over that, they will send them home or change their schedule to where they're an hour under or something like that. So that's what I'm talking about in there, is they'll actually adjust your schedule based on how much you've worked to keep you under that limit while they're sitting there with all their billions of dollars.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to say who it is?
I will not. No, I'm not trying to get sued. I don't have billions of dollars.
Are they out of Arkansas?
Yeah. They sure are. Okay, back to Jennifer. She was able to have the surgeries before she lost her job and health insurance. Like I said, she had those 5. But she still didn't have basic use of her arm. That was basically just to save her life and be able to have her arm, keep her arm. Now she's caught between a rock and a hard place where she needs surgeries and can't afford them. Now, like we said, this is a common issue. And in a 2007 interview, she said, "I still can't feel the back of my hand at all. I can't put my hand to my face. I have no fine motor skills." And she also had to deal with a lot of infections. So an infection actually ate a hole through the bone in her arm. And she was fighting to fend off infections the whole time because she still had those shotgun pellets in her body. She has a 20-inch long scar on the back of her left arm. And here's where you come in, Darren. The CEO of Memorial Hermann Hospital heard her story and covered all of her medical bills for her to have surgery to restore movement to the elbow. So this is years later. He went in and they removed the 2 steel plates and 19 pins that were holding her arm together. One of those pins had actually broken, so it had been stabbing into her elbow, causing pain for a long time. But he was able to fix it, where she could comb her own hair, do dishes, tie shoelaces, everyday things that able-bodied people take for granted. But I didn't see anything saying that they would be able to fix the nerves. They were destroyed, and she had been told that they would maybe be able to transplant some of the nerve from her good hand to the bad hand to possibly get some function back, but I didn't see that she'd ever had that surgery yet. One of the nerves had actually grown over that steel plate, so it had to be rerouted and all kinds of things. So while the plates worked and the bone healed, it didn't heal properly.
Another thing is that removing the 37 shotgun pellets from her arm, shoulder, chest would likely do more damage, so they're still in there.
They're still there today.
Good night.
Yeah. But you were asking, why didn't somebody do it pro bono? Well, that doctor stepped in and
Well,
was
I'm
like,
glad.
I'll fix your elbow.
I'm glad at least somebody did.
Yeah.
I mean, but
one guy did.
it already cost her
go.
how many thousands of dollars?
All of her dollars. She has no dollars.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, she had to lose her house. She had to lose everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just so that one doctor could say, "Oh man, I feel bad for her. Let's."
And just think of how many
I mean,
of these
I'm
victims.
glad the doctor did it. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
I'm glad he did.
100%.
There's not very many doctors out there that'll actually do pro bono work,
Right.
and everything. So I'm happy to see in this story at least somebody step the fuck up.
We need more of them. And they say it's hard because even if the doctor says he'll do it pro bono, he would also have had to get the nurses, the anesthesiologist, the OR room.
Well, yeah.
Like everybody has to agree to do it for free because nobody's going to be able to pay
Well, yeah.
them.
I mean, it's part of it. But I mean,
You'll find those people, though, if you go looking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's going to be somebody in that hospital. There's going to be a lot of persons in that
A
hospital
lot of persons.
that are willing to give up their time
Yes.
to help somebody out, especially if it's in a case like this.
I agree. I agree with that. And that's another problem is there's a lot of victims that don't speak up. But because she was doing these interviews and stuff to raise awareness to her story, that's why this doctor saw it and took it on. Yeah. So speak out, people. You need to get your words out there.
Is there like one of them GoFundMe deals or anything like that?
A lot of people do GoFundMes, but this was, I think, pre-GoFundMe days.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I mean,
This was back in like 2007. Facebook had just come about.
yeah, I know, but I mean, the story's still popping up and everything. That's why I'm like,
Well,
I'm hoping now that I hope she's doing a lot better today compared to what it was back then or whatever.
well, about that.
What?
I did run across a couple of articles saying that she was involved in a federal case of intent to manufacture meth back in 2011, but I didn't look into it too much because I told you about that. I remember, and you said it was probably to pay the medical bills to get money to pay. So that's our healthcare system for you. But that's literally the last thing we've heard on it. So I'm hoping, like you said, that today she's doing a lot better. But there's literally been nothing on this since
She probably had to go to do that, something drastic like that, because
what else can you do?
what else can you do? She's lost her house. She's lost everything.
Yeah.
I mean, she had to basically turn to a life of freaking crime.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I'm not saying she did. I hope she didn't. But
Hey, desperate times.
But I mean, shit. When everybody turns their freaking back on you, you got to figure out what to do for your kid.
Exactly. That's true.
I mean, whatever.
That's true.
I ain't gonna believe that. So
that's where we are today. Bad man's in jail. Poor Anna. She was so young. She was only 18. She lost her life. And Jennifer lost her life as she knew it. Like, completely different now. It was a bad deal all the way around. But Jennifer was quick on her feet and able to convince him to stay calm, and she was able to get out alive. So, get it, girl.
yeah.
Good job.
Well, I hope she's doing good.
Me too.
Well, that was the end of this story. I hope you guys liked it as much as you could like it. Make sure you guys catch us on Spotify, Podbean, Boomplay, Google Play,
YouTube.
and YouTube. And don't forget to go to Facebook and go and subscribe to like our page.
Tell your friends.
All right, we'll catch us on the next one.
Bye.